What's up, everybody? Good evening. How you doing tonight? Yep, tonight's the night. We have one and only John Haymond coming on tonight. I guess he's running a little behind. I haven't heard from him. Yesterday, he confirmed that he was coming on tonight, but he is MIA at the moment. I guess he got busy at the law firm or something. But until then, I have an exciting video coming up for you on Sunday. It's all about getting your bike ready. It's not really a spring tune-up, but a chance to go over your bike for spring, do some maintenance, and just get your bike ready. It's an exciting video. I worked on that the other day, edited it yesterday, so it's gonna be. I think it's a good video. So let me say hello to everybody here. We got Chasing Ghosts. Hello. Frogzilla, HDA Traveler, Mr. Bry the Biker, Lolly's here. Dark Souls is here. Hello, Dark Souls. Let's see. Evil Rick is here. Hello, Tiger Ward. Hello. Mr. DDK in the house. Hey, with DDK here, I'm just going to say, stop elder abuse. You got to. It's not cool. So if you don't abuse the elderly, then you don't have to worry about it. But DDK appreciates that if you stop the elder abuse. Mr. Process is here. Hello, Process. And Diner Riding is here. Hello. Mr. Greg McBee. Hello. Good to see you. So, yeah, we're waiting on John to show up. I don't know where he is at this moment. He's got the links. So we'll see where he is. I don't know. But until then, let's grab a cocktail. That's right. Cocktail time. And it's full. Man, hopefully everybody's been having a great week. I've been having a great week at work and in the shop. I actually delivered a motorcycle today after work that it was a motorcycle I used in the video. I finished that up and hey, the guy wanted his bike back, so I was like, okay, why not? Give it back to him. So, with that being said, let's see. See, that's why I'm always nice to you. That's right. That's right. Respect your elders. You have to. Respect your. Hey, Mrs. Iron Butterfly. Hello. Good evening to you, my favorite Southern Belle. Mr. XAN, how are you? Hopefully you had a good time at Spring Fling. Oh, sweet. You're on a fishing trip. Nice. Hola, Dallas. How are you? Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you and Mrs. Iron Butterfly. Looking forward to TMMR coming up here in less than 3 weeks. More like, I think 2.5 weeks until we leave. Let's see. So, yeah, 2.5 weeks. We'll be on our way to Tennessee to TMMR, which would be a great time. Let me know in the side chat if anybody's planning on going. I know HJV Traveler is going to be there. Yes, it will be awesome. I know DDK will be there with his lovely bride. I know, of course, Dallas and Iron Butterfly will be there. I'll be there with Mrs. Dr.Harley. Let's see. Oakley said he had a great time at Spring Fling. Awesome. That's good times. That's it. From the photos I see, the architecture and the writing around Eureka Springs is amazing. From the way it looks amazing. And I'm sure the pictures don't do it any justice. Something you have to see for yourself. So, yeah. Good to do it. You leaving already? No, we just started. Hey, gliding on. Yeah, gliding on twos will not be at TMMR, but he will be at the Hootenanny. He's got no choice. He's got to go there. You know, you pick a direction. It says you pick a direction. Eureka Springs. You'll have a good ride. Awesome. Look, that sounds like fun. Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting Jack in person. You know. Oh, Tiger Woods is planning on going. Just hope my hip eases up. Yeah. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Hopefully your hip does get better. Hopefully. Hey, Shadow's here. Hey guys, Shadow from the Unaffiliated. They had a great show tonight. That it starts at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time on the channel The Unaffiliated, which is a good one. Mr. Marvin the Martian, how are you? Did you get your air pump yet? Let me know if you got your air pump. Let's see. Yeah, Nori's the absentee celebrity. As a matter of fact, Nori, you have to watch Sunday's video. There's a surprise in there for you. Yes, so you have to watch it. There is a surprise just for you in there, Nori. So, feel free. Just so you know, I'm not shaking your. You're gonna get yeah, right on, man. I appreciate that. That's what I expected out of you. I don't expect a handshake, a bro hug. It's not Man Love Monday, so not happening. So hey, let's see. So yeah, we're still waiting on John to show up. Whoa, wait a minute. I got an email here. Let's see. What's it say? Oh, cool. He did receive the air pump. UPS works better east than west. Okay, cool. I'm glad it showed up. I'm glad you got it. Use it in good self. I sent an email. Yep. Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. He says I'm always watching. I just don't always comment. Right on. So yeah, he did receive the air pump that we raffled off. And hopefully you use it and enjoy it. And actually, I hope to God you never need to use it on the road. That's just me. But if you have it with you and you're on the road and you need it, you'll have it. So it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's my school of thought when I go on long road trips on the bike. The only thing is, you like that one, Jack, huh? The thing is, I can't always bring my toolbox with me, but I bring the basics and essentials. So yeah. So yeah, it won't be Monday. So we'll see each other Thursday. Hey, Big Mike 135, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you. We're waiting on John Haymond to show up. Here's hopes he shows. I'm thinking maybe he got tied up at the law office or something. I don't know. He's got a very busy man. He's got multiple law offices. Just to let everybody know, John Haymond and the Haymond Law Firm, they're in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Vermont. They do have 8 offices here in Connecticut. They have 3 in Massachusetts, 2 in New York, 1 in Rhode Island, which is Providence, 1 in New Hampshire, which is Nashua, and 1 in Brattleboro, Vermont. So they do have quite a few offices. Let's see. Air pumps are like rain gear. If it's with you, you'll never need it. Well, that's not true. I bring my rain gear every time I go on the road, and boy, we needed it coming home from Gettysburg last year. So, yeah. Let's see. So there you go. Yeah, so John's got all those law offices in all the states of Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, New York, Massachusetts, and of course, Connecticut. And when I met with John in his office, we had a nice conversation. I could tell you, he rides a motorcycle, and all his attorneys in his office in Hartford ride motorcycles. So if you need a personal injury lawyer about a motorcycle accident. Who better to represent you than an attorney that rides and understands everything you go through while you ride? I have some good questions for him lined up when he joins in. Hopefully he joins in. If not, then this we'll see. We'll see what happens. Until then, does anybody have any questions for me? Any questions for me? I wish I didn't need glasses because you can see the reflection. Let's see. So I met him at the Blue Poker Run. Yes. Cool. John is a good dude, very approachable, good guy. So yeah, John is a really great guy. He's very approachable. If you see him out and about, you can walk up to him, talk to you, and he will talk to you. He also has a team of Haymond law girls that are promoters that go to all the events and promote the law firm and everything like that. And, they're a bunch of nice girls. They're very approachable and they're very friendly. I become friends with just about almost every single one of them. So does my wife. It's a great relationship that John and I have now, going on our second year with the YouTube channel. He is a sponsor of the channel, and I thank him for that. And we'll turn that off for now. Let's see. How can you tell the pressure on your carburetor? Your carburetor should not have any pressure. It should be under vacuum because it's gravity fed to your carburetor into the float, into the bowl, and then it's drawn into the venturis and everything through vacuum, not through pressure. But Frog, you can put a vacuum gauge on one of your vacuum ports there and read how much vacuum your carburetor is making. Carburetors do not make pressure. However, what makes pressure is fuel injected. Well, they really don't make the pressure. The pressure is made at the fuel pump and exit out. So, that's how it is. Hey, Dean, how you doing? Yeah, 21 days and counting. Absolutely. For you, less for me. Let's see. Hex says, I feel your pain on the glasses. Yeah. So you guys see what I'm looking at. So, yes, they do. That's how they work. They work through vacuum that's created through the engine running or starting. It creates a vacuum which pulls the fuel into your intake manifold and into your heads through valves. So, there really is no pressure at the carburetor. Hey, Rolling Throttles here. What's going on? How you doing? So, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna send Rolling Throttle an invite if he wants, and he can come on here and tell us all about the new products that H2 Performance has. I think that would be great. What do you guys think? While we're waiting for John to show up, let's see. So yeah, let's do that. So go ahead, Rolling Throttle, Drew. Hey, Jay Clark, how you doing? Check your Instagram. I sent you the link. Let's get on here and we talk about your products, your podcasts, and everything else that's going on with you. I think that would be awesome if you could do that. I would appreciate it because I'm really like to hear all about it. And if I want to hear about it, I'm sure everybody else here wants to hear about it. So yeah. Shop's coming along. Where's the chopper? Okay, the chopper is still at the seat guy. Talk to him about another week and a half, and it'll be done. And then I go get the bike, bring it back home. We'll finish mocking it up. I did receive in the chain drive conversion today. So we're moving forward. And here he is. What's going on, Rolling Throttle?
I just got home from work. What's up with you, Doc?
Hey, just another day waiting on John Haymond to come on. And, I guess he got tied up with the law office or something like that and had to switch gears really quick. I saw you here, and I know you got some cool and interesting stuff happening with H2 Performance. And, I've heard some of it, and I'd like for you to share with us all the exciting stuff you got going on with the podcast and with H2 Performance.
Oh, well, I've been busy. A lot of people haven't been seeing me around because I've been working. Of course, Doc, you know that because you see a lot of it. We've talked. Next big thing, we haven't named it, but I will say it. We're compensators. We have a new compensator coming to the market.
Right on.
That's going to be very competitive. Um,
Is it blue spade proof?
yeah, it's been tested by some hardcore people. So
Okay. Right on.
and a little birdie told me that the softail suspension is getting built this week. They got the
Awesome.
they got the parts in, and they're starting to build all the softail suspension stuff.
Oh, excellent. Just in time for Leesburg.
Yeah, I know. And then if you guys haven't been paying attention, I will. I know it's not H2, but I will throw it out. If you see OF Performance with our new headlight that's supposed to be dropped in June for the Road Glides. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a remote oil cooler and headlight combo all in one.
Yep.
It was a collaboration with Ultra Cool. So awesome company, awesome products. And what else? Of course, you get that H2 Performance if you want. Um, Tap It Right. Of course, we got Tap It Right on H2 Performance. And the other big thing is we are officially working with Sawicki. So if you're looking for a Sawicki exhaust,
I
come on
have
over.
one.
Come on over to H2 Performance. We can get you taken care of. So,
Yep. So
uh,
H2 Performance has moved added to the line of suspension. Now you're larger than suspension. You got compensators, you got exhaust.
and we're working right now with Thundermax. So Thundermax will be coming soon to the H2 Performance. What do you want to say? Catalog.
There you go.
So,
Awesome. Awesome.
and between that and the
Working
podcast, working and the podcast, and, you know,
the life. I mean, life.
yeah, the wife, working on Crystal's bike, getting it ready for the hoot nanny because she's got to be ready for old Spaceballs over there.
Yeah. Don't worry about Spaceballs. It's nothing exciting.
So she got to take a little ride today on because all of her suspension's in now, so
Yeah.
we got
I'm
we
looking
got
forward to that.
so. Oh, it's so much better. She's like, it's so much better. she's been spoiled, and she's been having to ride on stock suspension while we build it, so she hasn't been happy.
Yep. Yep. I'm
Well,
excited about the suspension coming out.
It is.
What?
I've been learning how bad stock suspension is.
Yeah.
Well, I could have told her that.
I know.
Yeah, but until you ride it yourself,
Just that just that phrase alone just tells you how spoiled she is when it comes to motorcycles.
Yeah, yeah. Now you guys did a big ride to all the West Virginia swings. Did you hit them all?
No, we're still working on them.
Okay.
We're still working on them. Oh, we do have the. I will put it out there because we talked about more today. We have the Rolling Coal 1000, the 1K in the day inside of West Virginia. That's not going to be highways. It's going to be 2-lane roads through the mountains. Unclear on date, but a tentative date of. I said tentative. God dang, shut up, woman. Keep cooking my breakfast. I mean, my dinner.
I was going to say breakfast. It's 8:20.
It's been a long day, Doc.
I can see.
I work in a Harley dealership. It's been a long day. Tentative date on the Memorial Day weekend. I say tentative because there's a lot of stuff, moving parts going on right now with that.
That could be
Yeah.
rescheduled.
Right on.
What else you want to know, Bobby?
I just wanted you to share with everybody all the exciting stuff that you've been working on, because you've been working on the compensators for a while.
Yep.
Sawicki you worked with for a little while.
Yeah, I've got fortunate with that because Sawicki is one of those. It's we're with OF and we work with different manufacturers. OF's been working with Sawicki on a lot of stuff. So it's one of those things like, hey, you know what? I'd like to put it in my parts company, and they were like, okay. So
Yep. Now Sawicki was set up in the first part of Daytona Bike Week at OF Performance.
Yep.
And they moved a lot of product.
Yes, they did.
Those couple of days. I think they only had a few pipes left over.
I think when I looked at the inventory at the beginning of the week, we only had 2 exhausts left. So
nice.
And we got a truckload of them in for Daytona Bike Week. So.
Yes. Just so everybody knows, H2 Performance Drew is also partners at OF Performance.
Right.
So that's the relationship between H2 and OF.
Yep. OF is your build some badass stuff and develop some badass parts, and H2 is a parts company that started out with the collaboration of suspension and suspension technologies.
Yep.
So, and just kind of expanded.
OF doesn't just do badass builds with badass parts. They do regular maintenance as well. Like when I was down in Daytona, I knew I was going to need a back tire on Tuesday after the Performance Hangover show, and I already had an appointment, and I went and they took care of the back tire for me.
Yeah.
Which killed me because I usually work on my own bike.
Yeah. But at the same time, you had some good guys. Mike and the guys down there are awesome. They do a good job.
So Zen, the answer to that question is, why are hardtails so popular? Well, because when you get on a hardtail, there is no suspension. You know that.
Your spine is the suspension.
Right. And it's the nostalgia of the hardtails, because that's what they started off as. There was no real suspension in any motorcycle early on.
Right.
If there was a suspension, it was in the seat and the seat alone. But other than that, there was no suspension.
Well, dang, Doc, you make me think of all the stuff I've been working on. Holy crap. Club style.
I'm glad I made you think.
Yeah. Well, we started the Club Style WV group up here in West Virginia for those younger spirited rider people to get together.
Yep. Do some hooligan culture stuff.
Yeah. Which is fun. It's fun.
Yeah. 701's in the house. Hello.
He'll be he'll be meeting up with us in June.
Nice. I'm looking forward to coming out in June. I know Big Mike is as well.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Get all the guys together. Get all these people together. I'm telling you,
just to hang out, have a good time, break some stones. You know,
do some good riding.
Have a beverage or two.
No, what's Jason call them during the podcast? Social lubricants.
There you go.
That's what he calls them during the podcast. So he has
We'll
to
go
get
do
his,
some spirited writing and then have the social lubricants.
that's right.
Not at the same time.
No,
Never.
never.
You know?
We- yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be fun, but I'm just so excited for June for everybody to get here and just have the whole crew and everybody together and have a good time. Like,
So how many pre-sale tickets for the event? Do you know that analytic yet?
no, but I do know because if people haven't seen where we started the club style WV group for West Virginia, we kind of threw a club style meetup because a lot of those guys were coming anyways. They're coming to hang out with us, and I have gotten messages that like the campground's full and Summersville hotels are full, and I'm having to shoot them to the next town over because everything's filling up.
Yep. Sam and Susan, the newlyweds, are in the house. Hello, how are you? Mr. Moto Noggin is here. Hello.
Sam and Susan will be there.
Yes, they will. I'm looking forward to seeing them. I believe they're going to be at TMMR as well.
Bro, you can't ask for. I don't know. I just have a lot of respect for them too, and
Absolutely.
I always enjoy hanging around them. So,
Absolutely. Same here. Great couple.
yep,
You know, real couple too. They don't put on airs or anything for anybody.
yep. Hey, it's the best parts guy. He's in the house. I just saw that.
Yep. He's been here. So
Well,
he's going camping at someone's lawn. I don't know whose lawn.
it's probably our lawn.
Probably between both of us.
That's okay.
He's going to noggin. Camp,
That's okay.
camp out in the yard in the tent.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like
Anything goes.
I feel like TMMR is gonna be like the pregame, and then June's just gonna be all out fun, crazy.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a great time at Hootenanny in West Virginia. If you guys are wanting to go and support a great cause, which is to help the high school kids pay for graduation, uh, nobody's making money on this. It's all going to the high
Going to
school senior class.
no,
So, you
and,
know,
and if people are like, "Well, why are you doing that?" Let me give you a little background of this area. So this area has been devastated by two floods, and shoot, the last couple decades. It was already a hard hit area, but what makes it a great area too is some of the best riding in West Virginia.
yeah,
So you know what, people like me that lived in the state and got an opportunity and got breaks. I feel like for me, that's why I'm such into it is to help these kids at least get one break to get out there and follow their dreams. So if they don't have to worry about their graduation stuff, that's one less thing that they can enjoy.
exactly. Because, luckily we only graduate high school once.
Yeah.
Luckily. But if I had to go through high school all over again, I'd have a lot more fun.
I don't know if I can make it through high school again.
Oh, you could, but you'd have a lot more fun knowing what you know now.
It'd be dangerous. Did you make another one of your lemonades?
Yeah.
She has been on this kick with what is it?
Blackberry crown.
Blackberry crown and lemonade.
I heard that's going to be the Blackberry Crown is going to be one of the premier beverages at the Double Wide Palace.
All I can say is blackberry crown and lemonade is a dangerous drink.
Yep.
You can't taste it.
Yeah, because it's good. But yeah, we will have some home brew stuff at the meet up in June.
Would that stuff be made out in the middle of the woods in a distillery?
Somewhere in Mexico, West Virginia.
Mexico, West Virginia. Got it.
Yeah.
And it has the word shine in it and the word moon in it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it won't blow your motor up.
It's not supposed to go in the bike. So I think Noggin should be a vendor down there and set up and do some laser engraving.
I think you do good with these people.
I think he'd do phenomenal.
I mean, H2 is going to be set up, so out there supporting.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think people should come. Like it's like the people I know that's coming. Like this is going to be a freaking blast. Like holy crap!
Basically, it's an old school biker camp out with the Hellbender ride, which I understand is 130 miles with over 1,300 turns.
Right?
Makes the Tail of the Dragon look like an off ramp.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know if people saw the post, but I put the post up like because we're kind of expanded, like you said. We us and then the club style guys, and then different people's coming. So I kind of expanded it because some of us going to be up there from Wednesday, right? So I put out there what we're going to do Wednesday. Then was it Thursday? Thursday we're going to go do the Talon and the Dew River Gorge.
Yep.
And then what we doing Friday? I can't remember. Friday something else. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. Then Saturday's course we're going to run the Hootenanny with the Hellbender.
Yep. And Evil Rick says he and Bedlam have a campsite and registered for the ride already.
And if people want suspension, please give us, if they think they might, please give us a heads up so we can try to plan accordingly.
Okay. Boss Lady over says if people think they might want suspension, please give us a heads up so we can make sure we can plan accordingly.
Yes. Yes.
Because
you'll have Tweedle there.
Yeah.
I'll be there. And if you need me to spin some wrenches, I'll be more than happy to do so.
Like Tweedle's kind of unofficial H2 performance installer.
Yeah, well, he's
I said unofficial.
The HR department.
He is also the HR department. What else we got? Oh, I don't know if you guys saw yet. I dropped a T-shirt design.
No, I didn't see that.
That we're thinking about for our little meetup.
Nice.
So.
Let us know if you think you're interested in that as well.
Yeah, Crystal said, let us know if you think you're interested in that as well.
Oh, I am. I'm down for two. One for me, one for the wife.
But I don't know. I'm just excited. Like, this is June yet. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to hang out with everybody and rip around and do some dumb shit.
I'm ready to rip around no more than 5 miles over the speed limit.
Yes.
Accurate.
That's so accurate. Yes.
Set the cruise. It's 25. You set it to 30.
Right. We just want to barely break the law.
Well, 5 miles is not breaking the law because
it's grace period.
It's the gray area.
Damn. I wonder what mine is then.
Yours is the chrome area.
Like, what's the speed limit asking for, friend?
Yeah, that's something your friend doesn't follow.
Yeah.
It's like doing burnouts in churches,
He was sending smoke signals to Jesus. Don't worry about it.
That's it. Hey, you know what? God loves motorcycles.
I think I'm ready because I went and got me some sticky tires. They are sticky.
I bought, I had OF put that Shinko 777 on Spaceball.
Yeah.
I have a lot less. Actually, I have not been able to break that tire free under power yet. So it's catching traction.
Because I just know we'll be carving some major turns and having some fun. So
I have to order a front tire for it.
just up front.
Just so I can have matched rubber front rear.
Bro, Doc, you're getting me excited, man. I'm ready to fucking go. Let's
Hey,
ride.
John Haymond is here, so I'm going to let you go, Drew.
All right, later.
Hey,
Hey, John, how are you? Good evening.
well, I apologize. I've been ill the past 2 weeks. I've had this bad cold and cough, and I can't seem to shake it. I came home from work and I had a drink, and next thing I know, I'm out on my feet, and I truly apologize.
No worries. I figured you got busy with the law firm because I know you're a very busy man with everything you got going on. Because you do a
this
lot.
wasn't the firm. This was the. I don't know. It just I never had a case of flu or allergies like this in my life. But anyway, I'm fine. Thank you, and I truly apologize to you and your audience for being late.
No worries. We switched gears. We went from first to second gear. My buddy Drew came on from brightH2.com and was talking about all the exciting stuff they got coming up to include an event. Yeah. So we have Dean Benedetti says hello, John.
Hey, Dean, how you doing?
Says hello.
Good evening, everybody.
So I have some questions for you.
I'm here and available, certainly.
Why don't we start with, tell us all about John Haymond, the man himself.
Well, where do I start? All right, I've been. I live in West Hartford, Connecticut. We practice law, throughout New England and Florida, and I'm one of 4 children, and I have 5 children of my own. And I spend a great deal of time when I'm not at the office. With my children as much as possible, although they're older now, so they have children. Most of them have children of their own. But on the other hand, I like to. I love my family and think dearly of them. But anyway, let's talk about. I don't like to talk about me, but I just can tell you that.
I was telling everybody how you ride and how long have you been riding motorcycles?
Oh my gosh! Well, let's say probably 40 years or so. Have my share of scrapes. Had one real serious accident myself, but it's something that I love truly, and it's a passion like those of us who ride. It's not something that you do occasionally. You take up this passion, and it just sort of consumes you. And it's a true pleasure. And I really look forward to getting out on my bike. Although I had a bad accident a number of years ago, and have a 76 shovel head, and it just got so heavy. I had so many broken bones and other injuries that now I find myself more on a Sportster because my other bike's just too heavy, and I have my left leg is in pretty bad shape these things happen. All right. I survived. All right.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I was happy to survive. All right.
Exactly. Tell us a little bit about the Haymond Law Firm.
Well, I'm really so proud of not just myself, but of all the lawyers in the firm. Every one of us rides. Every one of us is a veteran lawyer. We don't have any kids in the law firm. We've been responsible for multiple $1 million case results, some historic values in cases. Just last month, we resolved a case where we were offered $300,000 and was able to get our motorcyclist client an award of $7.5 million. All right, one of the highest awards in the history of this was in Massachusetts, and I could go on and on, but it gives me a great thrill because I have to be honest and tell you that there's just something that's so pleasurable about about getting more for your client than he or she anticipates, or what they consider the true value of a claim. I always talk to the lawyers, and we talk a lot with one another about cases and how to approach cases. And it's interesting what we do, because we're not just talking about cases, we're talking about people, and we're talking about people's lives and how this injury and accident has impacted the quality of their life, how it's going to impact the quality of their life, perhaps for their future. And in other words, we get to know our client. We get to know their spouses or their significant others and their children and their friends, as a matter of fact. We often produce professional video productions and a day in the life of the individual. So I truly love what I do, because it gives me an opportunity to go against the big corporations that, whether it be a big pharmaceutical or big insurance or big anything, most of us don't stand much of a chance against them, so you want an advocate who's on your side, who's willing and able to represent you, spend the money that it may take to prove that case. And oftentimes we spend thousands upon thousands of dollars in hiring experts and doing all kinds of things that are necessary to help prove cases. And I'll come on next time and talk to you about cases in particular, because I'm deeply resentful and deeply offended. But when I see this billboard saying, who rides, who cares, it doesn't matter. Well, I can tell all of you that it truly does matter, because in order to represent an individual effectively, unless it's an open and shut case, in order to represent them effectively, you have to know how a machine functions. And that machine is the motorcycle, and you have to understand how insurance adjusters and defense attorneys and juries react to motorcyclists. And, I've been doing it so long, for example, that I remember the days when I'd have to take my client out, buy them a long sleeve shirt to cover up their tattoos, and get them dressed so that the jury wouldn't have inherent prejudice against them based upon something as innocuous as a tattoo. All right, and now that too has become a piece of art. So now, isn't it interesting how things have changed? And now we put a value on artwork that may have been destroyed as a result of an accident. So it's an ever evolving world, and that's the beauty of what we do, because it takes a lot of creativity, takes a lot of imagination, and quite frankly, it takes a lot of expertise in knowing how a motorcycle functions, how a jury, how to overcome inherent prejudice that exists against juries, and how to win a case properly, and how to best represent a client. All right, so there's no greater feeling in the world than getting the best possible results for an individual, and it's always, it's us against the world, so to speak.
Yep.
And I love my brothers and sisters dearly in the community. We've worked together for God knows how many years, and I've done everything in my power, quite frankly, to enlighten the public as to what the uh, motorcycle community does for each other, but more importantly, what the motorcycle community does for charitable causes. And that gives me a thrill. And as you probably know, virtually every weekend I'm off at one event or another, helping to promote, sponsor, raise money for various charities. And they say it's better to give than to receive. Well, I can only tell you that it puts an incredible smile on my face to know that we've been able to raise, with the support of the motorcycle community, thousands upon thousands of dollars for various causes, all worthwhile. And we are a firm believer in taking care of our veterans and our needy and homeless veterans. And there's too many out there, unfortunately. We firmly believe in helping our first responders. And I can't begin to tell you from A to Z the number of charities that we support, whether it's for breast cancer, whether it's for children, Shriners for Children. I can go from A to Z and the number of causes that we've helped to raise thousands upon thousands of dollars. And I enjoy it because I enjoy being out with my brothers and sisters, and we have a fun day, fun afternoon, and at the same time, we're accomplishing something of great value on behalf of others. And it's something that I've tried my best to bring to the attention of the public, because they just don't understand that, if they see long hair and a beard or tattoos, they they misjudge. All right.
Yeah.
And people, unfortunately, there are ever so many people who are quick to judge and don't know the essence of a person and what makes a person tick, and
Exactly.
yeah.
So speaking of insurance, you and I spoke about it very candidly in your office when we met, back in January, and which gave me some great questions to bring up when you come on the show. How much insurance should a motorcyclist carry on their motorcycle?
Well, there virtually isn't a client that doesn't come in the office, and ultimately, not necessarily the first time I meet with them, but sooner rather than later, I'm going to ask them how much insurance he or she had on their bike. And typically everyone says, "Oh, I had full coverage." All right. And I've learned to understand, unfortunately, that in their minds, full coverage means I've got the basic coverage that the law permits. All right. So, for example, in Connecticut, that's $25,000 per person, $50,000 in total. In Massachusetts, that's $20,000 per person, $40,000 in total. So, let me address something that is so important, especially this time of year. And I urge everybody to go take a look at their insurance and get the maximum amount of coverage available. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to give you a legitimate reason, because it's quite affordable as well. I can't begin to tell you, as well as I, that if we get into an accident, there's a distinct possibility that it could be a very serious case. And I can't begin to tell you, unfortunately, how many times I've had to go to a family's home and I'd say to them, well, regrettably, the person who was at fault either had no insurance on their vehicle or had minimum insurance on their vehicle, and you had minimum insurance on your vehicle. So the most you're going to receive, whether it be Connecticut or Massachusetts, is $25,000 or $20,000. Now, how do you explain that to a 22-year-old who's lost their leg in a motorcycle accident. All right. It breaks my heart. And I've had that very same thing happen. And then I say, well, of course. And then they get mad at me. And I, don't blame the messenger. All right. I'm just the messenger. So
Right.
what does one do in a case like that? Well, they say, I want to take the case to trial. I said, certainly. I said, that's always your prerogative. But bear this in mind. If you take the case to trial, we have to hire experts to pursue the case. It costs money to go into court. And now, ultimately, you'll get a judgment. And you'll get a massive judgment against that person. Maybe $1 million, maybe $2 million. And that person can then go to an attorney, file for bankruptcy, and wipe out their debt. So the reality is that it's not advisable. And I tell them it's not advisable for that reason, because it would be a piece of paper that would have no value to it. Okay. So what do you do to overcome this? And obviously, in the cases in the past, it's too little, too late. But it's not too little, too late now, because now's the onset of the riding season for the vast majority of us, as opposed to those who ride 12 months of the year. I don't. At any rate, you have let me preface this by saying 3 out of 4, in other words, 75% of all drivers on the road, whether they're on a motorcycle or in a car, are operating with minimum insurance. That's 3 out of 4. Of the remaining 25%, about half of them have no insurance whatsoever. So statistically, the chance of you being, if you're in an accident, the chance of you being injured by somebody who has sufficient insurance, more than enough insurance to cover your damages, if there are damages, is unlikely. All right. So assume it's going to be unlikely. When we see a case where there's a commercial vehicle or an Uber vehicle at stake, we know there's going to be a lot of insurance, but that's so rare. All right. So assume if you're in an accident, you're going to be hit by somebody who, in all likelihood, has insufficient insurance on their vehicle to cover and compensate you for the injuries you've sustained. All right. So that's in fact a reality. How do you overcome that reality? Well, we have what's called uninsured motorist coverage. On every vehicle in any state, you must have, as part of your insurance, what's called uninsured motorist coverage, and it also means underinsured motorist coverage. So let's say the driver who's at fault has minimum coverage, $25,000. You can buy in Connecticut as much uninsured motorist coverage or underinsured motorist coverage as you can afford. All right. So let's say you have 500,000 of uninsured motorist coverage. Now you can recover the 25,000 from the at-fault party, and you can now look to your own insurance coverage as though it were the coverage of the wrongdoer, and look to your uninsured motorist coverage and recover up to $475,000. In other words, 500,000 minus the 25,000.
Yep.
So that applies whatever state you go in. And there's some states where no insurance is required. In Florida, you don't have to have insurance to operate a vehicle, so there's real problems there.
Yeah.
And in New England, there's certain states. All right. So we need to protect ourselves. Why? Well, number one, most of us, if we have a lifestyle we need to support. You need money for that. You have loved ones you may need to support. You need money for that. You have children. You need money to support them. You have bills. You need money to support that. So
absolutely.
So what everybody should be looking at is taking a look at their policy and taking a look at how much uninsured motorist coverage you have. Now, like I said, in Connecticut, you can purchase up to as much as you can possibly afford. So let's assume, for the sake of discussion, that you purchase 300,000 of uninsured motorist coverage in Connecticut. The difference in costs between basic coverage and getting 300,000 of uninsured motorist coverage is $14 a month. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Take that, and you can take it off during the winter months when you're not operating your motorcycle. All right. So it's money well spent. Very little for a lot of coverage that protects you. All right. The same holds true, obviously, in Massachusetts, and nobody really appreciates this. Number one, until they've been in an accident and they discover and realize the issues that have come up and the issue of uninsured motorist coverage. So I ask and I plead with you, every one of you. It breaks my heart to say there's not enough insurance that's going to cover you, and we'll go to court and get an award. But trust me when I tell you that award is not going to be collectible because they don't own anything. They don't have anything.
You can't get blood from a stone.
Exactly. All right. So that's number one. All right. So I urge you to look into your uninsured coverage. I want to add to that. I do have somebody on my staff, and I've had this person's worked for me for over 30 years, and he's a property damage specialist. And as a courtesy on behalf of each and every client, he helps you, takes over the case, and gets you reimbursed for not only for the damage to your vehicle, damage to your customized parts, and the cost of a replacement vehicle to use while your vehicle is unavailable. And we don't charge for that. That's a courtesy. I've always believed I don't want my clients talking to the insurance company because oftentimes they take information from you and they try to elicit information from you that they're going to take out of context. Hey, Mike, they're going to take information out of context and use it against you sometime down the road. All right. So we'll take care of everything from A to Z. And as far as the property damage issue, that's a courtesy on behalf of each and every one of our clients.
Yeah. Now I'm going to go into our next question I have for you is, God forbid somebody gets into an accident, at fault or not at fault, doesn't matter.
Yep.
How soon should they contact an attorney? And what information should they get if they're available to?
Let's say you're in an accident. All right. Number one, the first thing you do is you make sure that the wrongdoer doesn't leave the scene of the accident. And if you're riding with friends, and I'm sort of a strong advocate for not riding by yourself, because I'm thinking like a lawyer now, and I say, well, if you're riding with somebody, you've got somebody who can support you in the event of an accident. And number one, get names and addresses of witnesses, ask them to remain at the scene until the police arrive, call the police, give a statement, and have the witnesses give their names and addresses to the police and tell them what actually happened. Because trust me, I've seen too many cases where, he or she, they shake hands and exchange insurance information saying, yeah, I'll take care of you, brother. And the next thing you know, they're telling their insurance company a whole different story than what really transpired. So I developed an inherent distrust of other people on the road. All right.
Would you think it's a good idea? Everybody's got a smartphone these days.
Yep.
Do you think it's a good idea if you're able to, or the person you're with is able to get photographic or video evidence of that accident scene?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to go on and I can tell you stories about why that's important and what we do. But so number 2, you call the police. All right. Number 3, you get statements from anybody who's available who will give a statement. 4, obviously, you get to the hospital. And in 5, you call us as soon as possible. And I don't mean 2 weeks later. I mean within 24 hours. Let me explain why. I've had ever so many cases when somebody calls me and say, I got charged with speeding. All right. And we'll talk about this at some later date, because one of the things that we've done, all of us have done and studied the psychology in the minds of onlookers when it comes to motorcyclists. All right. And there's always that perception, and it's a real perception in the minds of onlookers, that a vehicle on 2 wheels is going far faster than it truly is. All right. So more often than not, you hear people saying, well, he or she's speeding. All right. When they're not, in fact, speeding. So you got to call the lawyer right away. I can give you examples. Example 1, a client called me. I got to the scene with an investigator, because I can't do my own investigation, because then I'm a witness, and I'm a prejudiced witness, obviously, and I can't represent the party if I'm a witness. All right. So I bring an investigator along who's licensed, and we go to the scene. We take photographs ourselves. I had a case, for example, this is just one example, client charged with speeding. And we see one tire track. And a police officer, by the way, charged our client with speeding. We had one tire track. So you and I both know there's a front brake and a rear brake, right? He had his rear brake on. And the reason he had his rear brake on and not the front brake is because he knows if he put his front brake on quickly, he's going to flip over. All right. And he didn't want to flip over. All right. So and the police officer, who didn't ride a motorcycle, didn't see that. All he saw was one tire track, assumed that was the brake, and charged our client with speeding. We overcame that prejudice and won the case. All right. I gave you an example of another situation where the client, again, was charged with being at fault, considered to be speeding again. It's always a consideration when you're on 2 wheels, the perception of speed. And I happen to know this person, and he was a responsible adult, and I believed what he said. And I said, so I visited him in the hospital. How fast were you going? And he said, I was going the speed limit. So I take an investigator to the storage facility. This was within 24 hours, done very quickly. I said, check the bike, find out what gear he's in. Well, lo and behold, he's in second gear. All right. You can't, notwithstanding what the police officer said, or the bystanders, witnesses said, you're not going to speed. You can't go more than 35 miles an hour in second gear. We overcame that and won that case handsomely. All right. So I can give you numerous examples of that type of thing, where it takes a certain expertise, knowledge of how a motorcycle functions, and experience, both as an operator and having handled the hundreds and hundreds of these cases, to think along those lines. So I'm not saying this for my own best interest. I'm saying this for your best interest. If you're ever in an accident, call me right away. And it's very interesting. So
I got you in my contacts.
Yeah,
before I call the cops, I'm calling 1-800
I'll give you an
Haymond.
example. I got a call last night, and my answering service called me, said so-and-so called, was in a motorcycle accident. He calls me. He said, John, it's 9:30 at night. I said, well, you called, didn't you? Yeah. I said, well, that's what I'm here for. All right. Here to help you. So we get the information, proceed accordingly. All right. So it's very interesting. 99% of the time, unless I'm out of the country, and that doesn't happen too often, but if I'm out of the country, Short of that, when I get a call, I answer personally, even though I have a number of lawyers who work for me, and everybody seems to be rather shocked and surprised that I'm talking to them. Sometimes I say, "Hey, hi, it's John Haymond calling," and it's blank at the other end. Why? Because they either think they don't really think I exist, or B, that how could I possibly be personally calling them back?
Yeah.
All right. But one of the things that I pride myself on, and I think it's ever so important for any effective attorney or anybody who does anything, is to give personalized attention and service. And I pride myself in my law firm on giving very personalized service. I don't leave the office any day of the week without answering every single phone call that comes into my office. And whenever there's no client who's ever claimed, I can't get a hold of you, John. All right. So, because that's a virtual impossibility.
That's awesome. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Now,
Yeah.
let's say that person was speeding.
Yeah.
Of course, he looked at you and says, I was doing the speed limit. Now, if he looked at you and says, yeah, I was riding a little fast, that falls under the attorney-client privilege, right?
Of course. Well,
So
let me say
it's
this.
better to be honest with your attorney than lie to your attorney and have the truth come out and make
I'm going to
you
get
work
that. I'm
harder.
going to get that information, frankly, with our own experts. In a very serious case, I'm going to go out and hire expert engineers and analysts, construction analysts, to determine things like speed and help with the issue of fault. All right. So one way or the other, I'm going to tell the truth. But oftentimes, I find out that through medical records, the person was high, the person had cocaine in their system, the person had alcohol in their system. They conveniently forget to tell me that, but the truth comes out. But not with so unless there's a record, an official report, then I am going to do everything in my power to deal with the facts in my client's best interests and work around them. And that is also part of the intriguing and inspiring aspect of what we do. All right. And simply because somebody is partially at fault, you can overcome that, because we have in the New England states what's called comparative negligence. And what does that mean? That means we have to establish that the other party is at least 50% at fault. So if a case were worth $100,000 and we could establish that the other party is 50% at fault, we'll be able to recover 50,000 of that. All right.
Mhm.
So I'm going to work with the facts. Unless it's open and shut and clear cut, then my hands are tied. All right. And I do everything in my power to support the biker and the community, and I certainly don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, so to speak. All right. So
Understandable.
and I'm also, quite frankly, in a position where my firm can spend literally thousands of dollars on a case, investigating and pursuing it, and sometimes it's a loss. All right. And I'm prepared to take that loss on behalf of the client, if I feel that there's some merit to what they have to say. But any lawyer who will tell you, I've won every single case, I've never lost a case, is a lawyer who's never tried a case. All right. So
Yeah, they settle out of court.
well, exactly. All right. And you never know for sure. We take courses learning the mindset of a typical juror, and how to overcome the prejudice of a typical juror, and what kind of juror to look for and what not to look for. But to a certain extent, there's truth to that, and that's scientific by nature. On the other hand, there's certain inherent guesswork involved as well. So you just never know for certain.
Exactly.
Right.
John, and I have one last question for you. What do you do when someone is involved in an accident? So let's say I get involved in an accident.
Yeah.
I know we covered some of this. I would contact my attorney, John Haymond.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you an observer or a witness to the accident, or did you just hear about the accident?
Let's just say, for argument's sake, I'm involved in the accident.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Whether I'm at fault or not.
Yep.
The first person I'm calling is my attorney, and then I'm going to call the police.
Okay. And like I said before, you want to call the police. You want to make sure that witnesses remain at the scene. You want to make sure you get names and addresses of whomever is available. That's why I like to see you ride with somebody who's in a position to do that. And you want those people to remain to give actual statements to the police officer. But if they don't, we have investigators who will go out immediately and get statements from them while their minds are still fresh, because oftentimes witnesses will say the truth at the scene, and then you wait a week, 10 days, and then you ask them that very same question. I don't want to get involved, so you advance immediately on these cases, and you call the attorney immediately. Not that I'm in a position to go to the scene at that moment in time, but certainly within 24 to 48 hours, somebody with an expertise from my firm is going to be at that scene to check on it. All right. And because an effective attorney not only knows their client well, goes to the accident scene, actually observes the surroundings and knows how it happened and where it happened and why it happened, and can understand. I'm coming up, going over a curb, and there's a crest at the end of the hill. All right, so how high is that crest? Because I couldn't see anything. That's just an example, and that's why it's so important for an attorney to do the legwork. All right, and like any kind of work, it takes hard work, and you got to get off your butt and do your job and do it well. I've had lawyers who've worked for me who haven't remained at the firm because they weren't willing to work, and I have no confidence. My job is to protect the individual who's at fault, and if I have a lawyer who's lazy and isn't willing to do his or her job. And I've been fortunate that the vast majority of lawyers who've worked with me remain with me, and they do their job well. So I'm very proud of every one of us. Every one of us in the firm today has numerous multi-million-dollar cases under his or her belt.
So here's a question from Corey. He's up in Massachusetts, around the Worcester area.
Yep.
It says, what's the best thing to do if your friend is in a crash and the other party tries to run away?
Well, at the very least, you get the license plate. You do your best to stop him or her, but get the license plate, call the police, and you give a statement to the police, and you give the license plate, and you can get and the police, if they're ready, willing, and able, and prepared to do their job properly, they'll go in and get that information. All right, because it's easily available. One way or the other, our investigator will have that information within 24 hours. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my personal reaction would be to subdue them, hog tie them until the cops get there. Then I get arrested for assault.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. There's just certain things you can do and can't do. But the best thing to do is do everything in your power to stop them from leaving the scene, and also you would like to get, if there are any other witnesses who stop, you want to also get statements from witnesses or names and addresses of the witnesses, because lots of times people don't want to hang around till the police arrive. But if you get the name, address, phone number of the witnesses, at least our investigator can get statements from them, because if the case should go to court, or if there's a deposition to be taken, we can have that person deposed and a statement taken. So we have an independent party who's prepared to give a statement as to what happened, how it happened, and why it happened, as opposed to just a riding buddy giving a statement. Because in the minds of jurors, sometimes they think, well, he or she is just protecting his or her
So
own.
Jake Clark asked a question for you, John. What states can you practice in? Because it would be great to know someone beforehand to trust.
Throughout New England, anywhere throughout New England.
So I have it right here. It's Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Vermont.
Yep. In Florida.
And Florida. Okay.
Yep.
I missed Florida. And so that answers Rhodey's question, who's out in Rhode Island.
Yep.
He does have a law office in Rhode Island. And I could tell you right where that is. That's in Providence.
Yep.
And if you need to find any one of his offices, I link in the description of this video his website, which is haymondlaw.com. And I also linked, he's got a Facebook page. It's the Two Wheel Community.
Yes, it's Two Wheels on the Road.
That's it. Two Wheels on the Road.
All right.
Yep. I'm a member of that community. That community is just growing and growing and growing since it
Right.
started.
Well, we started it last year, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. Thank goodness. And it's an opportunity to talk to your friends, to have, it's a
Meetups.
community of people, and we don't just talk about accidents. And then it's just you may be talking to a buddy. I need a part for my bike. Where would I get this? Where's the best shop to get this type of repair done to my bike, etc.
That's simple. Dr. Harley's garage.
Exactly. Or who was that single young lady that I saw on the with you, right? That I know you, because I know you're involved with somebody else. So who was that woman?
I'm always with my wife.
Okay, well, not me. I'm divorced.
Here's a great question. How do you search for a great lawyer in your state or your local country if you don't know any lawyers?
Well, I'm going to make this suggestion. It does you no harm. Call my office, even if the incident didn't occur in one of the states that we represent. We will find the best possible lawyer on your behalf and provide you with that information, and maybe give you an option of 2 or 3 different lawyers. But we'll find the best possible lawyer. We know how to do it. Exactly.
Excuse me. It's better to find a lawyer ahead of time before you need them. Because if you don't know or have a lawyer, that you can call.
Yep.
Now you're wasting that golden 24 to 48 hours trying to find a lawyer, or if you're able to. But if you're not able to because you're in a hospital, your significant other or your family are trying to search for a lawyer for you.
That's right. And with all due respect to the family, they may not know how to pick the proper lawyer for the particular type of case.
Exactly. I've tell all my friends who've had accidents, who've lost loved ones in accidents, and they sit there and says, I tell them all the time, you need to get a good lawyer. Contact John Haymond. He'll take really good care of you.
I appreciate that, and I respect you, and I like to think that you're doing the right thing, not only for me, but you're doing the right thing on behalf of the family who have an injured loved one or a loved one who's passed.
As a matter of fact, when my wife had a slip and fall on a piece of property, she busted her bursa sac in her knee. First person she called was your office, and that was something your office couldn't take on, and recommended a lawyer to her.
Yes. Okay.
So that's, I've personally known John now going on 14 years, being in the motorcycle community here in Connecticut. And I could tell you without a doubt, he's always around. He's got a great team of promotional models that work for him, and they're all lovely girls, and they're very friendly, very approachable. So when you see them, just go up and say hello.
Well, it's very interesting because, as you know, I attend ever so many events. But if I'm not at the event, we have a staff that is attending all the events that occur. And, there was a time years ago where maybe there'd be 3 or 4 events throughout the summer. Now, every weekend, there's about 6 different events. I can't get to every one of them. But I can tell you that one of the things that we do, and we're doing something very special this year that's not available yet, but will be shortly. We're producing a little leather wallet size portfolio to put in your bike. It'll contain our business card and information what to do. And our business card is changing this year with a QR code, and the QR code will tell you what the events are for the forthcoming weeks and months. Number 2. And number 3, you can put your registration inside there, leave it in your bike, and every it's a nice tight package, and you're gonna enjoy holding on to this. And I sort of worked hard on it, so made it a little bit of a piece of art. So it's
John, if you don't mind, I'd take 2, please.
I'll give you 2.
Because I have 2 bikes.
All right, you're welcome to as many as you'd like. All right, but my pleasure, certainly.
So,
And I just want to tell you that it's just such a pleasure dealing with the community, because and it's funny because I don't know, it still puts a smile on my face when I get a call, and it happens more frequently than you would imagine. John, I'm just calling to say hello, and I want to thank you for all you do for the community. All right, because we've done a lot of messages and television commercials from the motorcyclist perspective. Please be careful of the motorcyclists. Don't when you're cutting your grass. Don't put the grass. Don't cut the grass and leave it on the street. Because that's slippery can be slippery as ice. All right. Or if you're smoking a cigarette, don't throw that cigarette out the window, because it could hit a motorcyclist in the face. And I've had that happen.
I've had that happen, and boy, do I get angry.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, and so we give messages to the public how to protect the motorcyclists, and the motorcyclists certainly appreciate that as well.
Now, with that being said, what if the motorcyclist is at fault?
Give me a
Could
call.
they still get an attorney?
No, their insurance company will represent them.
Okay.
All right. But if somebody is pursuing a claim over and above the amount of coverage available, at that point they need an attorney. And call me and I'll give you the proper advice. But I'm probably going to say, do you own anything? No. All right. Well, then don't bother doing anything, because when all's said and done, we'll set you up with a bankruptcy lawyer, and you'll discharge. You'll discharge it. But that brings me to another issue. I've often seen uninsured policy coverage of 100, 300,000. That means 100 per person injured, 300 for every 3 people injured. Well, rarely, I mean, in my entire career, have I seen 3 people injured from a motorcyclist as a result of an accident. All right. It'll be the motorcyclist and his or her passenger, and possibly if they hit a car, maybe, but I've just never seen it. So don't get 100, 300. All right. Don't cover 3 people. You don't need that.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it. I have a subscriber that couldn't make it tonight, and he asked me to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Ask about the importance of FOIA for any litigations. What is FOIA?
I don't know. I apologize. That's I wish he was here to spell it out for me. He or she was here to spell it out for me.
Yeah.
That's
I know
next
he'll be
time, all right?
watching tomorrow the rerun.
Or
And
call
I'm
me
sure
at the office, you know, and 1-800 Haymond, 1-800 Haymond,
Yep.
1-800 Haymond. You can call me from anywhere in the United States at that number, and I'll answer the question. If I'm in court, one of the other lawyers will answer the question.
Excellent. That's awesome. That's awesome. But if you're in with if people watching and listening are within the states that you cover, I highly recommend that people write that number down, put it in their phone, just in case you might need it. God forbid, I hope to God you never need it.
All right, so let me say this to you. On the back of our business card is not the front of the business card has all the vital information, the name of the firm, the QR code with the events that are coming up, etc. All right. The back of the business card has what to do in case of an accident. All right. So your listeners that I want to particularly address are those who are perhaps younger and don't necessarily attend events. You know, they're riding with their buddies, but that you know they're maybe too young. That maybe they're just not inspired to go to events. But call my office. We'll get your name and address, and we'll send you as soon as this information arrives. We'll mail it out to you, and we're also going to have it available in virtually every motorcycle shop in the states that we do business in. But I'm addressing, you know, that 30 to 45-year-old crowd that doesn't necessarily go to events, you know.
Yep.
And
now, CAL FIRE, just clarify what the FOIA is. It's the Freedom of Information Act.
oh, okay, all right. Well, okay. With respect to the Freedom of Information Act, I can't tell you a lot about it other than there's certain information that is certainly available and is not privileged information that is available to the general public, and you can obtain that through the Freedom of Information Act.
Okay. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I got that question in because
I apologize.
No worries. I didn't know what it was either.
It was a blank. All right.
Good to know.
My mind went blank there.
Yeah, it happens. You're not feeling well. I get it.
I have not. I've missed a few days, and I just had this cough and cold that just wouldn't seem to go away. And finally, I said I'm going to a doctor, and I'm on medication for it. So I'm back in the office, and of course, but I think I'm in fourth gear right now.
Yeah. Good friend of mine, longtime subscriber, PA Biker, asked a really good question. What if the writer is in a state that you cover, but you're on, you're just there visiting and something should happen? Should they get an attorney in that state where the incident was, or they should get an attorney back home?
Well, we've had a lot of cases like this. All right. And let me explain, because I've been on various television stations in Connecticut and Massachusetts, and I'm asked questions. It's called Ask the Attorney, and I'm asked all kinds of personal injury questions, and I do my best to respond. Regardless of where the injury or accident took place, your insurance follows you. So even if you're insured in Connecticut and the accident's in Massachusetts, your insurance covers you in Massachusetts. I'll give you a perfect example of something unrelated to motorcycle, but it was kind of interesting. I had a client who was in an accident, resolved his case, and it was at the end, and we were resolving his case. And I said, asked how you doing? He said, not good. I've been in the hospital for a few days. I said, what happened? He said, I was out hunting with my father, and my father's well into his 80s, and unfortunately, his hands are a little shaky, and he hit me with the arrow went through my leg. All right. So my first question was, well, tell me a little bit about your father. Does he own his own home? Yes. He said, but they lived in Massachusetts, but the accident occurred in New Hampshire. Well, the homeowners, we pursued a claim against the homeowners, his father's homeowners insurance, and recovered $300,000 because there were $300,000 worth of negligence coverage on the home. We weren't going to go after him personally, obviously. So, and we recovered $300,000. So, even though the incident occurred in New Hampshire, the insurance follows you regardless of where the accident occurred.
Okay. So, in other words, let's say PA biker comes up to Connecticut on his motorcycle, gets involved in an accident in Connecticut.
Yep.
Should he obtain a Connecticut lawyer or a Pennsylvania lawyer?
All right. Without any question of a doubt, should obtain a lawyer in the state where the accident occurred. All right. Why is that? Because otherwise, a PA lawyer not licensed in Connecticut only has the ability to negotiate and attempt to settle a case. Does not have the ability to bring a lawsuit, does not have the ability to threaten to bring a lawsuit, does not have the ability, obviously, to go to court. And unless you have the ability to do all of those things, you're really fighting a fight with at least one hand tied behind you, all right? So you want to go to a lawyer who has the capacity to take this case to its conclusion if necessary. And that is take the case to trial.
Right. So the Connecticut lawyer would know the Connecticut laws, and you're better off getting the attorney.
Not only that, you're by law, an out-of-state lawyer should not even be handling a case if they don't have a license in that state. All right. It's really unethical. All right. So so you really should be going to a lawyer in the state where the accident occurred.
Okay. That's good information.
Okay.
That's very good information. What an educational evening this was for everybody.
Well, I do my best, and I try to, and I'm looking forward to coming back on. And I want to thank you for the invitation, and I wish you all the success in the world. And I hope your empire grows and grows. All right. I don't know how many listeners you have right now, but I hope by the end of the summer it'll quadruple.
I hope so. That'd be fun.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be, because I have a lot of traveling I'm doing coming up. Less than 3 weeks, I'm going to be in Tennessee. And then in June, I'm going to be in West Virginia. And in July, I'm in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And then in September, I'm in Ocean City, Maryland.
Lucky you. Lucky you.
All motorcycle rallies.
Okay. Well, have fun. Have a good time. I didn't hear Laconia there, but
no, I'm not doing Laconia this year, or Americade, or Catskill Mountain Thunder.
Okay. Well, we stopped doing Americade. We used to go to Americade, and about 3-4 years ago, we stopped going to Americade because we found that it's changed, and about 80% of the people attending were from Canada, so it was of no value to us to be there because we're not licensed to practice law in Canada, and we couldn't benefit them in any way, shape, or form,
Unless they got in an accident in New York.
Exactly. But if you know what the cops are like, in
Americade,
like George, they're tough. They're tough on the bikers during Americade, So
I got a funny story about Americade. My wife and I went there for the first time, and we were walking around. And I found this barbecue pit was close to our hotel, but a block or two over, and I couldn't remember if it was 1 block or 2 blocks over. And we saw a couple cops just standing around jaw jacking. And I asked him, "Hey, where's the closest barbecue place?" And he says, "Well, the closest place is only a quarter mile down the road. You don't want to go there because it's owned by a prominent club." He said the club name, but I'm not going to say it on here. Yeah. One of the members owns it. You don't want to go there. There's a much nicer place another 2 miles down the road. I says, no, that first place is the place I want to go.
Yeah. Listen, they're in it. They're in it for a business, and you're going to be treated with respect. And
Oh, absolutely.
we
Absolutely. You know my background, John. So,
Yeah.
I
right.
went in there and, I was talking to one of the members and, we ordered our sandwiches. The guy next to me ordered the same sandwiches. His was like that thick. Ours were like that thick.
Oh my God.
We
Yeah.
get the bill. We each had 2 beers. We each had a sandwich, pulled pork sandwich, and my bill was $20.
Those were the good old days, right? Now you go out to breakfast and good luck I'm
I'm
always
going to McDonald's for $20 these days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed at the price of food. Just getting breakfast, forget it. I'll make my own bacon and eggs.
Yep. But man, what a great evening to have you on tonight.
Thank you so much.
Do you have some time
Tonight?
Yes.
Let's make it in a couple weeks. Do you mind?
Why don't we do it in May?
Yes.
Like the first week of May.
I'll
love send you an email.
Yep.
With the date and everything, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, I quite frankly, from my perspective, I think just to keep things fresh in the minds of your listeners, if I come on more frequently as opposed to at length, there, I don't want anybody getting tired of the sound of my voice. Yep. And so it'd be better if we do this frequently. Right.
What about May 8th? That's
May
only
8th?
a couple weeks.
I think that sounds good. Okay, not a problem.
I got you in the calendar.
All right.
I'll send you an email tomorrow with everything, and the week of, that Monday, I'll send you the link to come on and everything.
Okay, great. It's been a pleasure.
I want to thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your support of my firm, and we're glad to be a sponsor of your show.
Thank you. Now, if you guys really want to get more information about John, if you Google John Haymond, you'll find that he's been on the news channel on a show called Ask the Attorney.
Both in Massachusetts and Connecticut, Ask the Attorney, yeah. Yep,
and he's on there with some of his other attorneys are on there, and they ask some real gritty questions, some down and dirty questions, and they're upfront and honest. So if you're really interested to learn more about John and the Haymond Law Firm, I highly recommend that. Or go to their website, haymondlaw.com, and just take a browse around, take a look and see everything that's going on, because they have practice areas, case results, about us, the Two Wheels on the Road Facebook page.
So not only that, if you go to YouTube, go to Attorney John Haymond on YouTube, you're going to see all our videos as well.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, John, you have a great evening.
Night. Thank you. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll be 100% the next time we get together. Thank you ever so much.
And feel better, please.
Safe, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night.
All right, everybody. That was John Haymond. That was Mr. John Haymond. So what'd you think of John Haymond? I thought it was awesome. I'm going to open this up to open mic night for the next 20 or so minutes. If you guys are interested, come on. I wish we had more time with John, but, with his not feeling well. So here's the link. If you want to pop on and talk about tonight or anything else, come on. Let's talk about it for the next 20 or so minutes. I try and keep my shows down to about just around 2 hours because, everybody's got to go to work the next morning. So what an educational evening that was. I really enjoyed having John Haymond on. He's truly a gentleman. He's truly a motorcycle rider. And you're right, Marvin. A lot of good information tonight. I thought it would be pertinent for everybody to hear because, he might not be licensed or barred in the state that you live in, but the information he puts out, like getting witness statements, names, addresses, and phone numbers is paramount across any state. So DDK says, some of us are at work right now. Aw, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I just had to put him in the calendar for May 8th. So, guys, you heard it here first. The next segment of, I can't say Ask the Attorney. I'll come up with a catchy name for John Haymond coming on the Dr. Harley show. You know, legal advice. Dr. Harley's legal, no, I can't do that. I'll come up with something. I promise you I will, Let's see. Not high fluttering. Yeah. Yeah. John is a very honest, open person, have fun with that bucket. Oh, DDK. Love that. He talked about checking what, yeah. Yeah, that was John is very thorough with his investigators that he hires. They're third party, independent investigators, very thorough, and disproved a lot of the charges that were brought against that person, which was awesome. Let's see. He might know a lawyer in the he said tonight, if you're looking for a lawyer in a state that he doesn't practice in, to give his office a call, and they could or might get John. Actually, I'll be honest with you, he's got a large law office. I mean, he's got 8 offices here in Connecticut alone, but he can point you in the right direction. Let's see. Oh, Corey, I thought we talked about this, Corey. Stop elder abuse. I mean, come on. DDK babysat Jesus. We got to stop this abuse. And he was there for the opening of the first Harley Davidson dealership. Brody and I don't feel working. Oh my God. It was good source of information because all the rallies you guys are having and attending. Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure the laws in New Zealand are completely different than they are here in the States. But some of the things that you could use that was put out tonight, again, getting names, phone numbers, addresses of the witnesses. If you're with somebody, make sure they get pictures of everything, especially the license plate of the other party's car, all of it. As much information as you could digitally record, either through videos and pictures combined, or just pictures. I know it's going to be the furthest thing from your mind, but if you tell your friends you're riding with, hey, I just watched this great live with this attorney, and this was a great source of information of what we should do. God forbid the worst should happen, and we end up in an accident. This is what we should do. I think that's amazing. Yep. See, stop elder abuse. Help build the Empire State. Oh, wow. So let's see. Last week I was talking about Amsoil and found some primary transmissions. Good stuff. Can't confirm if it's running cooler yet. Seems quieter. Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. So glad to hear that. I'm an Amsoil dealer. I use it in all my motorcycles, past and present and future. I'll definitely be using it in that. Amsoil claims it runs cooler. I have not done a test because I won't run any other oil on my bike if it runs cooler or not. So, I'm not going to discredit Amsoil says, it's fluff, but I can't say it's not fluff because I haven't done the science behind it, nor am I planning on doing it because I'm not going to put some other oil on my bike just to find out, let's see. Corey also helping out around at the end. Oh, Kyle, geez. Mel, stop elder abuse. You know, HCD says, oh man, you guys are something else. Let's see. Letty walked up to me saying she saw what happened, would give a statement, flat out lied to the cop. The cop knew she was full of it. I can only assume she knew the chick that hit me. That is a very good possibility because it's a small world. You know what I mean? And wow, she flat out lied to the cop. That's not good. That's why you get multiple witness statements. And I'm sure an investigator will find out her relationship with that person and discredit her for lying to the cop. You know, and no, you were, yes. Yep. I am a dealer for Amsoil. Hey, Dave's here, man. What's happening, Dave?
Just enjoying the evening. How you doing?
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, it's a good show. That was good information.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was a wealth of information that John was laying down. I did some preliminary thinking and everything about what I should ask, the attorneys.
Right.
Because to me, cops show up, I zip it. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah, if they catch me.
I was always told, don't offer any information.
Right.
Hey,
they got to catch you.
it says nipples in there. Boy, you really stepped into that one, didn't you?
I did. That's all right, man. Yeah, I've been off work for 2.5 weeks, man. Enjoying all the riding, getting my bikes fixed. And
nice. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of. Well, I got fired to get the 2.5 weeks off, but yeah, I still got it off.
Even my wife gets a kick out of that nipples. Yes.
Summoned.
You were summoned, honey. I will agree to that. You were not born, you were summoned. A creature of the dark world. That's why she loves black cats.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Does this microphone sound okay?
You're a little low. Your volume is a little low.
Okay, is that better? Same?
A little bit.
Let's see.
So how are things in Arizona? They get hot yet?
It's been in the 80s.
78? That's good riding weather.
Oh, yeah. It's, I don't know, what is it right now? It's 79 right now. It's been in the 80s.
79?
Yeah.
And it's 7:45 your time, right?
6:45.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on. That's some good riding weather.
Yeah, it's been nice. We haven't seen
Well, I
rain for a
appreciate
while.
you being here.
Well, you know, you invited people on, and I just didn't want you to feel like nobody cared.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really do.
Like
I said, we're only going to stay on 20 more minutes.
Yeah. We all love your show. They're just shy. That's all it is. They're just shy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello. I don't know how to pronounce that. Miss Guant. I can't pronounce that. So, hello. You missed a great show, I tell you that. Stabilization video today. Who did the stabilization video? Talk about Road Reality? Yeah, it was a good video. As long as it's stupid humidity. That's why you ride faster, and that super humidity acts like air conditioning.
Yeah, we don't get much humidity here.
No, you don't get a lot of humidity in Arizona. It's just a dry heat.
Yep, it's the dry heat.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's been really nice. I've rode every day for 2.5 weeks now.
So yeah, I mean, John's an awesome guy. I've known him for 14 years. I personally never used him as an attorney. Thankfully, I never needed one. But in my phone, I have his office phone number if need be.
Our humidity is
And if not,
11% right now.
1-800 Haymond isn't hard to remember. You know?
You know,
So did you learn anything tonight, Dave?
did I learn anything? Yeah, a little bit. What was that? I knew about the out-of-state thing, get a hold of the out-of-state lawyer, not one from your state, because they've got license. I learned that.
Yeah, I thought that was good information because I would have, if I was out of state, I would have called John Haymond.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
You know, if I was in a state that he's not barred to practice in, then he couldn't help me, but I'm sure he would steer me to somebody who could.
Yeah, and what do you do if somebody runs, if you're a bystander or your buddy's riding, and so I just think that just depends on how accurate your pistol is.
Yeah. Hey Travis, yeah, it was pretty interesting live. That was pretty interesting. I live and okay. I would agree. It was an interesting live. It was an educational live. It was a fun live. You know, if it could be educational and fun, it's a win-win, in my opinion. So make sure everybody tunes back in May 8th when John Haymond's back on again. I think that's going to be another great live. I have questions already geared up for him in my mind that I have to jot down. As a matter of fact, I emailed him my list of questions for tonight, so he had time to prepare for my questions. But as far as everybody's questions in the side chat, I have no way of knowing. So okay, so everyone have a good night. Thanks for coming in.
How's that? Does that sound better?
Much better. I can hear you.
My mic came in.
As we would say in Army Aviation, I have your Lehman Charlie.
Lehman Charlie, all right.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Some things we don't until it's too late. Yeah. Yeah, there's some things we don't think about until it's too late. And we don't do. This is, I do take it John has got people working with him or for him so he doesn't. Yeah. He has a, I went to his main office, or you could say his home office in Hartford. John and I had a meeting about, continue sponsorship on this channel this year. And when I got to the building, he's like, yep, just go to the top floor. And it's a penthouse. I was like, oh. So I go up, door opens up right into his office. It's not a hallway you go down and there's an office. He's got a whole team of attorneys and paralegals there that are working for him, and they're hard at work. I mean, to recover $7.5 million for one accident, I don't want to know what happened to that poor guy, that person. I'm sure a lot to get that type of an award. Yeah. Yep.
So how's that chopper coming along?
Well, I called Atomic Cycle Works today, or no, yesterday. I called them to find out how they're doing with the seat pan and the seat. He says another week and a half, and it should be ready to be picked up.
Cool.
So I'm thinking not this Saturday, next Saturday, I should be picking up the chopper, bringing it home, and finish the mock-up. And part of the mock-up, I got delivered today through the final knife raffle, the money that we raised. I bought a chain drive conversion for it with custom teeth. So it's the ratio I picked. It's not really good for highway running, but it's good off the line and around town. A rigid chopper with a Springer, you're not taking on the highway very long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, ball hopper.
So and it's only an 80 cubic inch motor. So that's why I chose the better off the whole gearing instead of top end gearing for highway speeds.
Cool.
So yeah, once I get it back, I'm gonna get hot and heavy. I gotta mount the tail light. I gotta pull the wheel off to do that because I gotta drill the back fender. I might have to fabricate and get Corey down here, do some welding. I know he'll have to come down and do some welding if he's willing, because I have to come up with a mount for the horn and a mount for the voltage regulator, which I still have to order. I just got to figure out how I'm going to pay for it. Then also, I might have to make a fender piece for the taillight because I've got a tombstone taillight. I really like those taillights. I hope it works and works well for it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'll have to figure something out.
Yep.
One way or another, I'll figure something out.
You figured it out.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I have left to do on mine is, of course, I didn't build the bike. I assembled the bike. So it's my assembled chopper.
Well, I didn't build the frame. I didn't make the fenders. I didn't make the front end or the handlebars. So you can technically say I'm assembling it, but I'm assembling it from a group of parts that were never meant to go together.
Yeah.
Like,
I got tired of working on the wiring on mine, so there's a shop that opened a while back down the street, and you get with the wiring. Here's the wiring thing, and you get to a point where it's like this you got that working and that quits, So I said, screw it. I got frustrated, took it down to the shop, and they got about 5 hours into it and figured it out. It was my screw up to begin with. So I just say fix it.
I'll be honest with you. That's going to be my biggest challenge is the wiring, because there is no schematic. There is no wiring harness available. So I'm going to have to use what little knowledge I have about relays and circuit breakers and, switch buses and, things like that. And hopefully make a successful wiring harness. I reached out to a friend of mine that's built quite a few choppers, and he says, I'm not very good at it. What I usually do is I take a Stoner Sporty and I take the wiring harness out of that and I remove the wires that I don't need.
Right.
So that's interesting,
Yeah. The only thing I have left is they'll have it back together tomorrow morning, so I'll have turn signals, brake lights, the whole 9 yards. Everything will work just fine. I don't have front turn signals because I took it's Heritage Software. I put the Springer on, and I took they're attached to that bar
right
with the running lights. So I took all that off, but I bought some aftermarket that just kind of have an eye that screws into your mirror.
Yep.
And has one wire hanging off of it. One of these days, I'll figure out where that one wire connects to make the front turn signals work.
That'd be your flashing circuit.
Yeah. And okay, then my next job would be finding out what the flashing circuit is.
Yes. Yes. That would be your next step.
I'll figure it out one of these days.
Yep. Again, your flashing circuit, you got to make sure you get it connected to the left side to the left circuit and the right one to the right circuit.
Right. Yeah. In the meantime, I'll use the ones I was born with.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You don't like nurses.
Oh, I'm all for that.
You offering to give him a sponge bath?
No, I'm all for getting one.
Thanks, Rhodey. Yeah, Rhodey's got faith in me. That's all I need, I guess.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yep. Because I know, like, the headlight, tail light have to, and the horn have to go on the switch bus. The starter relay goes on the switch bus, but that gets intercepted by the starter button. Because once the starter starts, it breaks contact, and then the relay shuts off. So the starter's not constantly running.
I'll take your word for that. Wiring is not my football.
I'm probably going to have to draw up a wiring harness to the best of my knowledge and figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to
Anything
need
else?
a 20 amp circuit for the headlight, 15 amp circuit for the tail light, 30 amp circuit for the starter, or the main harness, I should say, the main switch bus. So, yeah.
If
I'm
I
still
keep,
toying with the idea of moving the battery down
Yeah.
in front of the back tire. I'd have to cut the fender to do it, but okay.
I've been wanting to do that too, because the soft tail oil tank with the battery in the middle of it and all the wiring around it, and it blocks the starter. You have to have. I got to make a special tool that goes from the other side of the motor that can get to the starter bolts to take the starter out. Otherwise, you have to move the oil tank. That's a pain in the ass. I hate that. All the
Well,
wires.
you're not
in the motor.
on a soft tail.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the starter out without removing the oil tank. You have to remove the oil tank to pull the starter, unless you pull the inner primary off, which is a lot more work.
Yeah, that's why I had to remove the starter to begin with, because I changed.
Hands pictures.
Yeah. All that stuff.
Some of the worst advice: just do like OCC.
How's that? Oh,
Put a momentary switch. Well, basically, that's what your starter switch is. It's momentary.
yeah.
You know, when you press it, it makes contact. When you release it, it breaks. That's a momentary switch.
I'm getting the 8180 FLH 80.
Huh?
I'm getting the 81 FLH 80 from a friend. Once he gets the motor rebuilt and the new wiring harness in it. So I'm thinking of putting the original front end back on the Heritage Softail and taking the Springer, putting on that 81 FLH.
Okay.
And but I've noticed that if I just want to keep the FLH 80 and get rid of the Softail, I can get more out of it with the Springer on it.
Yep.
So well, if I can get 2,000 more out of the Springer front end, I can buy another $500 Springer. So
Yeah.
Yep,
Definitely. Well, I'm at my 2-hour mark. It's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I used to say here in Connecticut on all the news channels, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? Seriously, that was a news commercial here in Connecticut. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? My mom sits there and goes, he's in bed sleeping. No, I was out the window down the road having fun.
No, I do not. I know where they were last time I talked to them.
So, well, everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. Dave, thanks for jumping on. Hells,
Sure.
thanks for jumping on earlier while we were waiting for John to come on. So, everybody, I'm going to say thank you so much for being here tonight. I definitely had a good time. Good night, Iron Butterfly. Good night to everybody in the side chat. Thank you for being here. Dave, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for being here. Again, thanks to Hells for jumping on and being here. Or Rolling Throttle is his new YouTube handle, and Instagram and Facebook handle is Rolling Throttle. Thank you so much, everybody. I had a great time tonight. I had a lot of fun tonight. I learned a lot tonight. I hope everybody has learned something tonight. Because we just don't have fun. We have fun and try and educate at the same time. If we can, we can. If we can't, we're just going to have fun anyways. So with that being said, I want everybody to live the best life you can. Ride often and ride hard.